Hello, my lovelies, and welcome to episode 59 of the Prosperous Yogini Podcast. It's a little bit of a mini-sode today because I'm a little bit pushed for time. I won't lie. It is the end of the summer term in my world, and my eldest is at the end of primary school. So he's finishing off primary school, moving on to secondary school. And I won't lie, there's a lot going on. There's a lot to remember. And there's a lot emotionally going on for me. He's fine. He's super excited about going up to secondary school. But I won't lie, I can have these conversations with you guys. He's my baby. And I'm finding it a little bit tough to kind of accept that his primary school days are done. So today is a mini-sode because I think that's all I've got in me. But also, this is short and sweet because the messaging is short and sweet. I'm just going to ask you one question, my darling, and that is, are you set up for the autumn? I saw a lady, she's not my mentorship program, but she did my pre and postnatal and toddler training course. Trained about 12 months ago now. And I was just, like you do, scrolling through social media, and I came across her recent post, which was the timetable for her autumn classes starting in September and the invitation to book now. This is how I can help you. I hope you went on tour and listened to my podcast with Ruth last week. This is how I can help you. Do you want it? And this made my heart sing. And I saw this and I was like, I need to chat to you about this, guys, because this is what you should all be doing now. It is so easy at this time of year to be a bit like me, where you're like, I'm exhausted. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on with the kids. It's the summer. The weather's good, not if you're in the UK, but hey ho. And I got swept up into that and like thinking about the autumn, thinking about what I'm doing in September, what I'm doing in October, very much is a reaction of I just actually can't go there at the moment. And I used to be like this, guys, but that leads to a way of working that is reactive, not proactive. And I'm going to go back to that question. Do you know what your autumn schedule is? Have you printed that or published that schedule? Have you made sure that you have at the very least ensured that your regular students, your regular clients have had priority booking, that your people on social media know about your autumn schedule, know about what's coming up, know about workshops? Have you got something new launching in the autumn? Are you planning to launch your online course? You'll be like, yeah, I've got this. I've created my online course. I'm going to launch it in October. Great. You should be seeding that right now. You should know that that course is launching in October. And right now, you are in the pre-launch phase where you are telling your current audience about what, what's coming, building up some excitement, building up some suspense, building that, this is what I am an authority in. This is how I can help you. This is how I can trust you. You can trust me. Making that intentional effort to grow your audience, which basically is a fancy term for making an intentional effort to talk to people. So that might be just showing up on social media. That might be showing up on your newsletter. That might be thinking about inviting people onto your newsletter. That might be physically talking to people in person. This might be physically talking to people in Facebook groups, but just being intentional, not burning out, doing stuff that feels uncomfortable and you dislike and thinking I'm absolutely exhausted today, but I need to post on social media 5 times a day. No, none of that. But just being aware of what's coming up in the autumn and planting those seeds rather than doing what I used to do, which would send kids back to school in September and be like, hit by a train or hit by a bus of like, oh my God, I need to fill my classes. And oh my God, I've got a workshop coming up in 10 days time that I've had booked for 6 months now. And I've not told anyone about it. Yeah, we've all been there. So this is coming down to being proactive versus reactive. So reactive is like, I'll give you an example. Reactive is like, oh, I forgot every year that in July and August, my in-person studio classes go quiet. Okay, that happens. This is not a secret. This is not a lie. Okay, but Then you go, well, my income always drops in July and August because my in-person studio classes go quiet. Okay, your in-person studio classes go quiet. That is very, very common. Your income doesn't have to drop if you have been proactive and planned in advance. If you thought about, okay, so it's clear that encouraging people to come into a class when the weather's really lovely outside is harder. Oh, maybe in July and August, I'll run some outside yoga classes or outside workshops, or maybe oh, I know my class numbers are very, very busy in January and February. I will save some of that money for the leaner months. But I actually much prefer to think that you can continue to make offers, make money. Please go back and listen to Ruth's podcast if you haven't. At all times of the year, it would only be our beliefs. Oh, you know, my income plummets in July and August. It would only be our beliefs. Another common thing that I used to be like, well, people won't buy my online training courses in the summer. Okay. And then I would notice that people were still buying my training courses. And I'm like, well, hang on a minute. Sometimes we have a bit of headspace in the summer. Sometimes we're not involved in doing the school run every day. Sometimes the summer can feel a lovely time to engage in training, preparing us for the autumn. So this is where I start to think about my messaging. So if I've got an online course that I would like people might have the time to do in the summer, then over to heading towards the summer months, I start promoting it as such. Or, I mean, one thing I find quite, refreshing to see is when a yoga teacher, reminds their students that if they want them there in the autumn and winter, that they need to show up in the summer, that, yoga is an all year round practice. Although maybe you think, well, summer months, my in-person classes drop. I don't want to rely on outside yoga because I listened to that podcast that you did a few weeks ago, Amy, and you're right. Always rains on the night that I do outside yoga. What about running retreats? Half a day retreats, full day retreats. If you don't want to do a longer retreat, people are often in a holiday mode and wanting to treat themselves in those summer months. So you replace the income of classes with a bigger, higher ticket offer. You can't do that. You can't say mid-July, damn, my classes have been empty for the last 6 weeks and my income has dropped and now I'm a little bit short for money this summer. You can't then just go, oh, I know what, I'll throw together a higher ticket price offer, a retreat for next week. Retreats take planning, and this is where we need to get proactive. So what I suggest you do, this is what I do, and it doesn't mean it was going to work for you, but I have a large wall planner of all 12 months, okay? And I will map out key points of when there's a training course starting, or when I might have an offer, or when the door to my mentorship program will be running. So there's like key places where I'm going to be making offers and making money. Okay. And then I've also thinking about other lean times where I might think actually it'd be useful to just boost my income with making an additional offer. So I'll give you an example. I have an online yin yoga teacher training course. It is £495. And every now and again, I do an offer where there's £100 off. It's an offer that I'm just very at peace with. I'll make it when it is Yin Friday, Black Friday. It's one of my places in the year that I know I'll use to have an offer. So I'm going to use that offer to do a short 5-day flash sale and have that £100 off right at the start of August. Now, my messaging behind that is going to be very much the messaging that I'm giving to you guys here. Do you know what you're doing in the autumn? Have you thought about your autumn schedule, your autumn offers, not just classes, workshops, for example? And yin lends itself beautifully to that autumn winter vibe. Well, if you're not a qualified yin teacher, there's no point thinking on October, God, it'd be nice to add in a candlelight yin workshop, but I'm not trained in yin. Now's the time to take action. So it takes a little bit of time in terms of practice and running our business through the seasons to get that sense of rhythm that also is going to work for us. Like, I've got children off in the next 6 weeks. So I've been very intentional in my planning about what I will promote then. So I'm promoting an online course. I'm not promoting an in-person training course for August because my children are at home. So get really intentional about the energy that is going to work with you. Have some key points, okay, that you know you're going to be bringing in that income, and also planning for any mums that just historically can be leaner. But I want you to get into the mindset that you can make money all year round, all year round. Like, it might be summer in one part of the world, but then it's there for winter in the other. Okay. You can make money all year round. You can make offers all year round. You might have to be more intentional with your messaging, think more about what offers are going to work for you at certain points of the year. But this all comes from planning, not from the, oh, damn, I wish I thought about that. And I wish I'd done this then. And oh, I forgot to mention, we've all been there. Oh, guys, hey, hang on a minute. I've got a workshop coming up next week. Anyone coming? Like, I've been there. And becoming proactive, planning, being open to plans, maybe needing to shift. And also, just because you plan to do something doesn't mean there isn't a whole world of possibilities where you can do other things, but just having a framework of forward thinking so you can ensure that you are generating consistent income into your yoga business. So I'm going to finish this podcast episode with, first of all, saying, if you don't know what your autumn plans are, start making those autumn plans. All right, my lovelies. And that's in my mentorship program right now. Well, actually been doing this for the last month, just been nudging everyone to think about almost like that relaunch, that resurge of energy into the autumn, as well as thinking about how we can continue to generate money in our yoga business in the summer. That's what's been going on in my mentorship program. So the podcast over the next 4 weeks is shifting slightly in focus. I'm still going to be turning up for you guys, but I'm going to do a 4-week mini series of teaching tips, because my mentorship program isn't just the business side of stuff. It's also about the teaching. And I'm going to use the next 4 weeks of mini for teaching tips, the mini series of teaching tips, just to show you how I can also help you with that teaching hat that you wear. And we often separate, this is teaching and this is business. This is a muscle and this is fascia, right? We separate these things. So human beings, we really love to categorize stuff. But ultimately, if you're feeling confident in your teaching, you're enjoying teaching, you're full of fresh ideas, and you know if you've got a question, you've got support, that's what you get in my mentorship program. That energy, because energy is everything, that energy leads into the business side of things. And then the business side of things, you're feeling more confident in the business side of things, and that's going to lead into your teaching. And it is a self-fulfilling prophecy. The two are interlinked, and you get help with both in my mentorship program. I'm going to be doing this every week. You have to add your name to the waiting list, particularly if you want that additional one-to-one help for option 2. That spaces are limited for that. The doors are next opening on October. I've got in my head Thursday the 12th of October. I'm pretty sure that's the date. So get your name on the waiting list. The link for the program is also in the show notes. And I will see you next week for part 1 of Amy's teaching tips.